Ow. Alright guys, we're on the Acadia today. As I think I determined in the last video, the water pump needs to be replaced, so we're going to tackle that now. First things first, I got a new belt and a new water pump. Let me show you. Belt part number right there, Delco belt. I got a milling water pump. There's part number right there. Okay. I've already gone ahead and removed the shroud up here because they had the filler cap hidden underneath it, and it's just like 8 or 10 little push pins. You just put a flash blade screwdriver there to pop up the center and pull the pin out, and then takes it off. And then on either side here, the weather stripping has a little Christmas tree that just pulls in there. You just lift that out, take that out, get that out of the way. I'm going to remove this cover to make some room. I'm going to drain out the coolant, which of course, they decided to not put a drain plug in the radiator. Good job, Jim. Assholes. So the way you can drain it out is either remove the hose right here from the thermostat inlet housing, or you can remove it down at the very bottom. You can probably see here, down there where it attaches to the radiator itself. Remove that hose, pop out, let it piss all over the place. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pop that. I'm going to drain it. At the same time, while I'm doing that, you got to remove the front torque strut mount right here, or the torque strut mount, and you have to remove the fuse box and all that stuff to get out of here. I'm not going to show that or the draining on camera. I already have a video for the torque strut mount, and I'll just link that in the description. Maybe I'll stick it up there in the cards or something. But do that, and yeah, by the time we get back here, we'll be looking at this area all kind of taken apart to tackle the water pump. There. Okay, I kind of got all the stuff out of the way. I took out the torque strut mount bracket off the engine. I couldn't get the radiator outlet hose here off, and I don't want to keep tearing it up because I don't have a hose here to try and pop a hole in it. Then I got to go try and run out and grab another hose and redo that. So I reached underneath it, and these are 18mm bolts. Undid that and slid it out underneath the hose. You see the hose here? Okay. There's the water pump pulley. Here is AC lines right in the way, thankfully. Here is your, right down here, your belt tensioner. I have it jacked up right now. I'm going to try and put a breaker bar through the bottom. If you have a Serpentine Belt remover tool or whatever, you may want to use that. I should be able to put that through there, hopefully, and slide that out of the way to slide the hose off. First, I'm going to take and try and at least break these 4 bolts loose using the tension of the belt. See if that holds it in there. It should. See if it works. They're only like 89 to 90 inch-pounds onto there, so that hopefully it should be able to break free holding the belt. If not, there's like holes right here in the pulley. You stick like a hose through, whatever, or not a hose, a little screwdriver to hold it in place as you break those free, and that's what you have to do to tighten it up, because you can't use the belt to tighten it. I may, if I need room here, loosen up this nut there, and there's one right back here underneath there, same thing, to try and get a little bit of play in this, but it's pretty much a hard line, and it is what it is. Of course, the pulley and everything is kind of right here towards the top half of it in the frame here, so it's kind of hard to reach everything. I'm going to try my best to get all this on camera, but honestly, I don't know what you're going to be able to see, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to even get this in here. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to explain to you what happens, and we'll come back when I get the stuff off. But like I said right now, my next step is I'm going to break these bolts free, or I'm going to try to, and then I will get the belt off the tensioner, take that out, and then when I can do that, I will take these bolts out the rest of the way. The pump will be able to spin, take those out, take the pulley off, and then I'll show you that when I come back. Okay, I did have to loosen up these 2 nuts here to be able to lift this up out of the way enough to be able to shimmy the pulley out. Without that, it just gets stuck on the pipe, the hoses here that run to the AC. The bolts came right out, since they're nice and loose. You can just leave the belt on there. You can get to the belt tensioner from the bottom of the breaker bar. It's virtually no pressure on it. You just push it towards the back of the vehicle. If it's hanging down, you press backwards. Trying to get the belt off itself is a bitch because I got it wrapped around everything. I hit up here where it was all dirty and greasy with some brake clean and wiped it to try and keep anything from falling down into the engine. Now there are right here, you see this in here, there's 6 10mm bolts that go around, and there's also surrounded by a bunch of like, looks like 12mm bolts. There's another 10 above it that goes to this outlet thing. I don't think there's anything, well, there's some 12mm below it down here, but if you just keep with the 10mm and find where they lock on there, there's 6 of them. Show you on here. Here's the new pump. And the cool thing about the milling pump, if you get confused on how to put it on there, because it's like this odd shape, right? M will be sitting up so you can read it as you're going to tighten it up, okay? But there's 6 bolts. Yeah, around here. Oh, I'm pointing over here without even the camera. You got 6 bolts around there. Undo those 6, and it'll pop out. I got this milling pump because it comes with the metal and rubber replacement gasket. Some other pumps come with like the paper, like shitty Velcro type gaskets. I don't like those gaskets at all. They always end up tending to leak. You have to load up RTV on it, so hopefully when I get this off it won't be too much to clean up, but we'll see. And now we're going to pop that off and take it out and come back. Okay, I got that out and the gasket off. Here are the bolts. Okay, the milling kit supposedly comes with new bolts. Well, it does come new bolts. I'm going to verify for sure and make sure that they actually fit. When I took these out, I mean, it looks like they're into the water jacket, but I don't think they are. I think this may be just some steam or something from it leaking, maybe, or something like that, and kind of get up here, because it's not full-on pipe dope, nor is it thread sealant. I mean, that was a little rusty there. Focus. I'm gonna check the threads of these and make sure that the new ones match this. I'll use the new bolts. Well, I got this out here. First of all, when you pull it out, have a pan down there, it makes a giant fucking mess. And even with the pan down there, it's not going to catch it all. So just get ready for that. The water pump right here inside of it. If I look at it though, there's a weep hole there, and it's actually kind of, it's clogged up. It's cooked up with shit. But if you also look right here, this is the bottom of it. I'm trying to see, look past my thumb. The bottom of it, if you look right there, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Maybe right there. There's a bunch of gunk on it. So what I think was actually happened is that it never came out of the weep hole itself. It blew the seal out right behind where the impeller shaft goes through into the front pulley mount. I think that seal popped there, and it was coming out that way, grabbing onto the inside of the pulley and being thrown up. Because when I pulled the pulley off, I haven't cleaned it out yet, but you can still see the coolant there in the bottom. And as you can see and hear by me listening, I'm living in pollen hell right now. This is an absolute goddamn joke, and the wind keeps blowing it all over the place. So, taking this out is a bitch to get to. Top 3 bolts, get from the top. Bottom 3 bolts, go to the bottom and get out. Now, when you go put this back in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that flange lightly as possible, because it's aluminum, and I want to make sure I don't gouge it with anything. So I'll get like a plastic scraper, like a putty knife or something like that, and get it as clean as I can. But it should seal up if I tighten it up in the correct order. Now, it is 6 bolts. Goes to 89 to 90 pounds. Inch is going into aluminum, okay? Not foot, inch. All right? So you'll tighten those down. You'll tighten them down in a star pattern. So you won't go in a circle. Never go in a circle when you're torquing something down. You go like here to there, to there, to there, to there, to wherever else it goes, okay? Just keep track of that. Do it in at least 2 stages. So say if it's 90, you do 45 pounds, and then come back and do 90 pounds. All right, and then check every individual one and make sure that they're all, you didn't miss any, okay? So go ahead and do it that way. I apologize for not really being able to show you this process as I'm actually doing it. There's no way of me getting a camera in here unless I had someone that would just sit here and like kind of be over my shoulder and hold it, but I don't have anyone to do that, so this is the best I can offer. I'm just telling you as I'm going away, but now I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to put the new gasket and the new water pump in. Make sure you don't, obviously you guys should know this by now, but if not, just kind of get it positioned, put a bolt in lightly through the water pump and the gasket, get it positioned lightly, then start all the other bolts around there and make sure that the gasket is in the middle of the water pump flange. Once you get one, like say one at the top and maybe one down here, you should be good to go. The gasket isn't going to move anymore, but never go and tighten one down right away and then expect the other stuff to line up. You got to always leave everything nice and loose, have some play to be able to clean it up. So next step, clean this off, put that in there, torque it down, and then we'll be starting the reassembly process. So go ahead. Well, that's what I'm going to do now. I'll be back in a bit. Okay. I've got that all cleaned off. Still got a little coolant leaking down there. It's gonna, so when this is tightened up, it's probably gonna have a little bit of leaks, but that's okay. This sort of plastic, smaller putty knife works fantastically. This is all you need to get all that funk off. If you use a razor, since it's aluminum, you risk gouging it, and when you gouge it, you risk it also leaking after that. Okay, so the bolts that came with it are fine. I checked. The bolt holes that go around to hold the water pump in, they are not going into a water jacket, so you don't need any sealant on them. So that means they're a blind hole, which also means this. It's a hole that has a volume in it. What you need to make sure you do is get all of the coolant and water out of those holes before you go and try and put in a bolt. I'm going to use compressed air from my air compressor. If you can buy a can of compressor to do it, if you have like a very small Q-tip, you maybe I'll stick it in there and soak it up. You just may risk getting some cotton in there or something that makes it harder to screw those bolts in, but you want to make sure that you get that coolant and water out of there, because water is non-compressible. Unlike an air compressor, to where say I have like this much volume right here of air, I can squeeze it down to take up that much space. All right. If I have this much volume of water, I cannot squeeze it to make it smaller. If I squeeze it this way, it has to find another area to go, which usually means cracking the bolt holes or everything else around it to find its way out. Okay, they'll crack your water jacket on here. This goes into the timing cover. Crack that. Make sure you get all of that out before you go and start tightening it down so you don't crack anything. Always remember, water and coolant are non-compressible. They need to be out. Water jackets and everything like that always need to be dry. So don't forget that. Right. Okay. New water pumps in, all torqued down in the correct sequence. What an absolute bitch that is, because you have to go up, or depends on where you start. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay. I'm about to now put the pulley back on. Okay. You'll see here, there's these two nipples right here that go right into one of these holes. There's 4 holes around the pulley that line up and kind of lock it in place, and you put the screws in and tighten it up. And then also you'll see on the outside, opposite of where the nipples are, there's the 2 slots. That's where you will slide through a small screwdriver or a bolt or something like that through one of these holes, which will then go through one of those holes, which will then rest on the frame or something to hold the pulley and stuff in place as you torque it down, again to 90 inch-pounds, same as the water pump. Then after that, it's trying to fish the belt back on, and that's going to be a pain in the ass because it runs a ridiculous way. I'll put a belt diagram on the up here on the screen, and it's like trying to get it stuffed up in there in the correct way and all that stuff. I blasted everything with brake clean to try and get it to dry off as much as possible. I'm sure when I start this up, there's still going to be residual fluid, coolant leaking and all that stuff, but that's it is what it is, the name of the game. It'll dry off eventually, and then we'll just check for leaks. But let me go ahead and put this belt on, or this pulley on, and the belt on, and same thing. Don't tighten the circle. Go one here to across, then to here to across, since there's only 4 bolts. Okay, but don't tighten in the circle. All right, I'm back. Pulley's on, new belt's on. Getting the belt in there was just an absolute bitch. I managed to do it with a couple of wrenches put together and a wrench to socket adapter, kind of like this one, but it was 3/4 size, because the breaker bar, I just ran out of room pushing it. It'll hit the control arm. So what you probably want to do if you're doing this is just go rent a multi-piece Serpentine Belt tensioner wrench to do this, because this sucks without it. So now what I'm going to do, tighten those bolts back, move this hose clip back in here. I'm going to put the torque strut bracket back onto the engine block. I think that's 66 foot-pounds. Tighten that down. Reinstall the torque strut itself. 43 foot-pounds for that. Like I said, I already got the video linked in the description of the torque strut itself. You can go ahead and watch that to understand how you do it. Then I'm going to plug back up the map sensor I disconnected, plug in disconnector. I covered these up just in case I was going to get any coolant up top here. Didn't want that getting in there. Put the fuse box tray back in, put these on there, put the base on the fuse box tray, put the fuse box on top of it, snap it in, tighten down the things, connect this, reconnect the battery ground, and then I'm going to go about bleeding the system. So once I do have this all back assembled, I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm starting to cook now, sun's out. Everything's back assembled. I was a dumbass and I did not cover up the hot from the battery, and I ended up bumping into it and it arced across the battery, the body of the car. Hopefully we should all be good since the fuse block was, you know, removed from the car at the time. Hopefully it shouldn't affect anything. So everything's back assembled aside from this lid here. Now what I'm going to do to bleed this is the same as bleeding like any other sort of old school style system. Is you got your fill tank here, fill it up up until the water gets to, I don't know, cool, to like this level here. Turn the car up, run it with the heater on high. You want to leave room in here because as the coolant starts to heat up in here before the thermostat opens, gets sucked into the car, the level's going to raise up and you don't want the overflow and spill. So once the thermostat opens up, you'll see the coolant level drop down here. You dump more coolant, add in, fill it up until, you know, it gets to probably this line here, high enough to where you can put the cap back on without spilling anything. Then add some coolant to the reservoir and just let it run, and it'll burp itself out. And then after it cools down, you'll come out and check it again, and you'll probably have to add more level coolant until it gets to the full cold level there when the car is all cold, and then you should be good to go. Not gonna lie, this is a bitch of a job. It's just everything is too goddamn tight in there to see and everything. And see, I'm greasing dirty everything. No, I'm not pulling a Justin Trudeau. And Canada, you deserve better than that bitch, and you deserve better than that new bitch you got now. Anyways, hopefully I don't have to come back and rechange this hose. I probably will. I just have a feeling. I couldn't get this hose popped off out of my way, and I was trying to kind of move it around with the channel locks to try and break the pressure loose, and just kind of tore up the hose a little bit. Hopefully it won't spring leak. If it does, this hose just goes from right here to right here. You'll just pop it off and you'll lose a little bit of coolant, but you don't have to drain the whole system to swap that out. So that's not the bad one. I did drain from the thermostat neck down there. I drained that out, put that back on. I got about a gallon, a little over a gallon and a quarter out of it. It's supposed to be like a 2.5 gallon system. So if you were doing this and wanted to do a flush at the same time, what you do is you'd fill everything up with either the flush or just pure distilled water, run it, drain it out, let it cool, fill it back up again. Well, actually, run it, let it cool, drain it out, fill it back up again, do the same process until everything comes out is clear. And then you would, you would go and then do the flush thing with the new, or I'm sorry, fill it up with the new coolant. I just have to mix my coolant up right now. I got the concentrate and distilled water, and it's always going to be cheaper to mix up your own. So I think concentrates, I think it was 20 bucks at O'Reilly's. Distilled water is 99 cents. So for 21 bucks, you get 2 gallons as opposed to paying 15 gallons a pop for pre-mixed coolant. So just make sure you keep everything labeled if you mix it up like that. Okay, see, 50-50 shake it up, dump it in. Yeah, that's it. So that's the job. Sorry I couldn't show you it in process. I mean, it's just me yelling and getting frustrated at the moment, so it is what it is. It's hard to get in here, but hopefully this takes care of the issue. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. I'll put a link for the water pump that I used, and the belt, and the hose removal tools, because I need those again, in the description. And then yeah, that's it. So a video for the torque strut mount is also down there. I'll put it at the very end too. Go ahead and do it. It's achievable. It's a pain in the ass, but it's not like it can't be done. So, all right, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time.